What's going on, Dub Nation? Welcome into Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Allie Barefoot, and I've got three big topics I need to discuss with you guys. One, because Steve Kerr came out yesterday after the Mavericks-Warriors game, where the Warriors unfortunately did lose to Dallas, and pretty much said, I think the Warriors can win it all. I'm going to break down what Steve Kerr thinks about his team. Secondly, on the back half of the show, I want to break down what happens if the Warriors don't win it all, or more importantly, don't even make it to the playoffs. There are some big moves they're going to have to make. And number three, on the very end of the show, you're going to want to stick around because there's a big Steph Curry injury update. And speaking of Steph Curry, I heard that it is his 36th birthday today. So if you guys would like to wish Steph Curry a happy birthday, one like on this video equals one happy birthday wish. You guys know he's rehabbing a sprained ankle right now. I know he's got 3 kids, one more on the way, so I'm sure he spends time on YouTube. If he happens to come by Warriors Day by Chat Sports, I want to see all the love that he gets on his birthday. Just go on ahead and do one like equals one happy birthday wish for Steph Curry. Let's talk about the Warriors' last 5 games, shall we? Because he did play against the Bucks, which they did completely blow out Milwaukee in that game, 125-90. They lost to the Bulls after Podziemski smoked a layup at the very end, but Curry left with 4 minutes left in that ball game, which is where he sprained the ankle. Next game, they lose the Spurs. It was an ugly loss, but they bounced back and they beat them the next game. And unfortunately, did lose to the Mavericks last night, despite Jonathan Kuminga and Andrew Wiggins putting up some points. It wasn't enough without Steph Curry. Although, the Warriors are actually doing pretty well right now, and they're doing really good at the second half of the season, which is what is most important in the NBA. They've won their last 16 of 21 games. And you got to remember, Steph Curry has now missed 3 ball games for the Warriors. So they probably would have won, I would say, 2 out of the 3 in the Spurs and the Mavericks games if Curry was there. But Steve Kerr still feels very confident that when Steph Curry comes back, they could actually make a run to win this whole thing. He said, I feel really strongly that our team is primed. If we can really stay healthy down the stretch, get Steph back, I feel like we can make a really good run. Well, the Warriors are actually 5 games ahead of the number 11 seed right now, so if anything else changes, it looks like the Warriors are going to be in the play-in no matter what because they're so far ahead that number 11 seed. However, being in 10th, we've seen what the Warriors do in the play-in. They lost to the Lakers a couple of years ago. They're going to have to go through some pretty hefty contenders in the Western Conference. So I like what Steve Kerr is saying about the confidence that he has in a fully healthy Golden State Warriors team. But you also got to remember, coaches have to say this. Coaches have to give fans something to lean on because Steve Kerr can't go on a radio show and say, we suck, pack it up, I want to go home, I'm planning my vacation. Well, then he'll have no job. So obviously, he's going to have some optimism. However, I do think it's very beneficial the Warriors are finding their stride towards March to May rather than going explosive in October to December. You can win all you want, but it really matters how you're doing towards the playoff times. And I do think the Warriors are doing a lot better than they were at the beginning of the season. Plus, I do agree that with all the injuries they've had so far this season, that if the Warriors were to be fully healthy, which they have seen very little games so far this season with a full roster, you got to remember, Draymond Green was indefinitely suspended. That was his 2nd suspension of this season. Chris Paul missed 21 games with a hand injury and surgery. Andrew Wiggins thankfully only missed 4 games with a personal matters. He thankfully has come back. Gary Payton II has endowed 2 injuries so far this year, and now Steph Curry, who is not cleared yet to play, he is practicing, has been out with a sprained ankle. So if you think the Golden State Warriors could actually make a deep playoff run with a fully healthy roster, type Y for yes, type N for no. I do definitely think they could possibly make it past round 1, maybe even to round 2. However, I do think all roads lead back to the Denver Nuggets or the Los Angeles Clippers and a very, very tough Western Conference. So I'm just trying to be real with you guys. I don't know how far they can go, but I do think the Warriors could definitely make a run. So I would type yes. Go on ahead and comment Y for yes, N for no down below. But next, I do want to talk about what happens if the Warriors lose. What happens if the Warriors end up being 11th and don't make it in the play-in? I want to talk about moves the Warriors have to make for this to not happen again next season. But first, I do have to tell you guys about the #1 daily fantasy sports app in North America, Prize Picks. It is extremely easy to play, and it's super fun too. I play it almost every single game day, and there's a huge reason for that. I used to never put money down on games. I didn't understand it. You guys have seen me do mental math on air. I'm horrible at it. That's why I go to Prize Picks, because it's super easy. All you have to do is pick between 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on their projected stats. And right now, you can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into 1,000 with NBA, NHL, and college basketball entries. And look, I know football season is over, but this is some of the best time in basketball season for college and for NBA. And look, Prize Picks is not biased. If you want to mix and match your picks between different sports, you can absolutely do that. NHL is going on, men and women's college basketball, the NBA as well. But I just went on ahead to pick some NBA picks. Right now, they have a promotion going on before tonight's game. Make sure you go and make your picks in as soon as possible, because James Harden have more than 3.14 points. Shout out to Pi Day. I mean, that's a lock. And I did take Bradley Beal to have more than 1.5 3-pointers made. And I had Jason Tatum having less than 29.5 points. Got to go up against KD in the paint. I think it's going to be the Jaylen Brown show tonight. So these are my picks. All you guys have to do is go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100. Look, pick more, pick less. It is that easy. First and foremost, I want to talk about the age gap the Golden State Warriors have. I understand this happens every single year after the NBA draft. You're going to get some rookies in. And I love rookies. That's fine. But the Warriors are a bit different because Steve Kerr has always played veteran ball. This is the first year since I can remember he's had these young bucks in the starting lineup. And I'm talking about 3 out of the 5 are in the starting lineup. And it makes me wonder, are the old guys holding the young guys in the Warriors back? Because when you look at Trey Jackson-Davis, who's making a name for himself, moved up to the number 2 at the center position behind Draymond Green. His plus-minus is great. His effective field goal percentage is even better. And his defensive rating is up there with Jonathan Kuminga's. And Brandon Podziemski's defensive rating is the best one on the ball club right now. Also shooting 52% effective field goal. And he has the best plus-minus as well. They're doing incredible. And the fact that Steve Kerr has trusted them means even more. If you look at the 3 older guys in the team, this is no slight to what these players are and what they have meant to the Golden State Warriors. But when you look at their stats, and that's it, the young guys are obviously playing a lot better. Wiggins has the second to worst plus-minus rating on the Golden State Warriors. He definitely has the second to worst defensive rating at 118.1. Klay Thompson is 1 spot ahead of him. Chris Paul, obviously being a point guard, has a little bit better here. But when you put the effective field goal percentages and you look at what Jonathan Kuminga and Brandon Podziemski are doing, it doesn't compare anymore. I truly do think the younger guys are kind of keeping the Warriors in play right now. Once again, does not go to any disrespect to what these 3 players have done in their careers or for the Warriors the past decade. I'm talking about right now. So do not come in the comments and say that I am saying Brandon Podziemski is better than Klay Thompson or any of that. I'm looking at the stats, and that's what I see, especially when you look at what they've done so far and what they need to do in the future. When you see some offseason moves, if the Golden State Warriors do not make the playoffs, or if they kind of lose in the play-in, maybe even the first round, I think there's 3 main things that Mike Dunleavy is going to have to do, whether he has a relationship with these guys or not. Number 1 is add a bona fide number 2 for Steph Curry. Steph Curry has put the team on his back this season. If you think it's going to be Kuminga or Podziemski next year, I'm all for it. If you think there's a better player out there they can go out and get, I'm open to it as well. Second, trade or sign for an impactful true big. I love Draymond Green. I think he's been great at the center position, but he's not a true big. You cannot beat the Joker in the Western Conference Finals without a true big. I would like to see anybody do it going up against a big man like that. Number 3, you got to say goodbye to Andrew Wiggins or Klay Thompson or both for salary purposes, for younger talent out there as well. So I'm going to be really intrigued if the Warriors don't make the playoffs. I'd be really surprised to see if Wiggins or Klay Thompson or both are on the roster next season. However, that's just my opinion. The reason why we have Warriors today is because I show you guys some stats, and you guys drop your opinions down below. What offseason moves do the Warriors need to make if they do not make the NBA playoffs or go far this season? Because look, I love the Warriors. I think they've been great in the second half of the season, but it's going to be a lot more work if they want to make it all the way to the NBA Finals. Go on ahead and drop that comment down below, because right now the Warriors are 0-3 without Steph Curry and Draymond. And those are two older guys. They have led the Warriors this past decade. So hopefully Steph Curry will come back soon along with Draymond Green, who has been ruled out before, slightly before that Mavericks game. So hopefully it's not too serious. However, Steve Kerr did give an injury update on Steph Curry after the Dallas Mavericks loss. He said, look, we're hoping to get Steph Curry back for Saturday's game versus the Los Angeles Lakers. He's been practicing with the Santa Cruz Warriors right now, the G League affiliate. He was cleared on Wednesday to practice full force. He has not practiced with the team yet. They're hoping he'll do that with the team in Los Angeles tomorrow. So I'll keep you guys updated on when Steph Curry is going to be back and his 27 points per game. So if you want Steph Curry to play against the Los Angeles Lakers on Saturday, which is what they're aiming for his return, all you guys have to do is like this video along with the chef's 36th birthday. Give him a happy birthday. And if you want to see Steph Curry back, all you got to do is like this video.